Imagine an anime with one of the most unique settings in all of shonen, a twisted prison amusement park where inmates are forced to perform deadly games for the entertainment of the public. Add to that blood-based superpowers, psychological horror, and a mystery that ties everything together. Sounds like a recipe for a classic, right? Well, that anime does exist, and its name is Deadman Wonderland. And yet, it failed. Today we are going to break down why Deadman Wonderland, despite its potential, collapsed as an anime. We'll cover the story, the characters, the animation, and most importantly, what went wrong behind the scenes. Deadman Wonderland started as a manga by Gensei Kataoka and Kazuma Kandao in 2007. The animation adaptation dropped in 2011, produced by Studio Manglobe, yes, the same studio behind Samurai Champloo and Ergo Proxy. The premise? A middle schooler named Ganta Igarashi suddenly finds his entire class slaughtered and he's framed for the crime. He's sent to Deadman Wonderland, a privately run prison that doubles as a theme park where prisoners are entertainment. While inside, Ganta discovers he has the branch of sin, the power to control his own blood as a weapon, and he's thrown into a world of gladiator battles, conspiracies, and survival horror. On paper, it sounds perfect, but if you've only watched the anime, you know something feels incomplete. Before I tear into it, let's give credit where it's due. The anime does nail certain things. The setting is fantastic. The concept of a prison amusement park complete with obstacle courses where inmates die for sport is disturbing and memorable. The soundtrack slaps. The opening One Reason by Fade is still iconic to this day. One of those songs you can't skip. And then there's Shiro, the mysterious albino girl with childlike behavior and an unsettling smile. She's instantly intriguing and carries a lot of emotional weight in both the anime and manga. So the foundation was strong, but the crack starts to show very quickly. Alright, let's talk about why the anime failed. Pacing and cut content. The anime only got 12 episodes. That's nowhere near enough to adapt a long-running manga. Instead of carefully building up mysteries and relationships, the anime speed runs through major arcs, whole subplots are skipped, characters get no development, and the story feels disjointed. By the time you hit episode 12, it feels like the anime is just starting, and then it ends. No resolution, no payoff, just a cliffhanger with a half-baked OVA that doesn't help. Shallow character development. Take Gonta, for example. In the manga, he gradually grows from a scared kid into someone who can stand up for himself. But in the anime, he spends most of the time crying and screaming because they never gave him the space to evolve. Same with the dead man like Crow, Shinji, and Minatsuki. In the manga, they have depth and tragic backstories. In the anime, they reduced to quick fights and surface level introductions. Inconsistent animation quality. Manglobe wasn't exactly rolling in money at the time, and it shows. Some episodes look good, but others have janky fight choreography and off-model characters. For a show where fights are central, that's a huge blow. Tonal confusion. The anime doesn't balance horror, action, and emotional storytelling well. Sometimes it leans too hard into edgy gore, and other times it feels like it's rushed shonen battle anime. The result? It never establishes a clear identity the way other dark series like Tokyo Ghoul or Paranoia Agent do. This is the biggest one. The anime ends before the real story even starts. The manga continues way past the anime's cutoff, exploring Shiro's true identity, direct egg, and the government conspiracies behind Deadman Wonderland. Without that, the anime feels incomplete, like reading the first 3 chapters of a novel and then stopping. To be fair, a lot of this wasn't the creator's fault. Manglobe, the studio, was struggling financially and took on too many risky projects. Deadman Wonderland was meant to boost their success, but without a second season, it became just another unfinished adaptation. It's the same tragedy that happens to so many anime. They're made to promote the manga, not to stand as a complete work. And unless sales are explosive, you never get the full story. Was Deadman Wonderland a failure? As an anime, yes. It rushed through the source material, gutted characters' arcs, and ended with no real conclusion. But as a concept, as a manga, absolutely not. The manga is worth reading because it gives you a full experience. The depth, the twist, and the payoff the anime couldn't deliver. Deadman Wonderland is the definition of wasted potential. It could have been a top-tier dark anime remembered alongside Elfen Lied, Tokyo Ghoul, and Paranoia Agent. Instead, it's mostly remembered as that anime with a cool opening that never got finished. So what do you think? Was Deadman Wonderland doomed from the start? Or could it have been saved with a second season and better pacing? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy deep dives into animes that deserved better. Thank you for watching, and remember, don't trust smiling clowns in theme parks.